Hello and welcome. Today we're making little crowns of Mary with regular beads, not pony beads. This is using, if you have a center like what you would normally use for a rosary that you would like to use for this, rather than a metal. So you can make little crowns using metals, but with the center, of course, it's a little different because you have the hole down here, which normally when you would have a rosary, you would have beads and then your crucifix. So you have that hole there, and then you have the two on the sides as well. And so, in making this, of course, I mean you make it exactly really the same way you would make a rosary with regular beads and knotting, except the knots are smaller, and of course you are using less beads and not using a crucifix. So what you're going to need, as usual, you will need scissors and the nail polish or glue, um, and then of course some cord, of course a cord that's thin enough that it'll fit through whatever kind of beads you're using. One of the centers, you will need 12 Hail Mary beads and 3 Our Father / Glory Be beads. Your cord, what I've done here, I have a 6-inch cord and a 12-inch cord. That's going to be more than you actually need, but at least I find it helpful to have excess, so if you have a stubborn cord or something and you have to cut it and re-nail polish the end so that it'll go nicely through your bead, it's kind of nice to have some extra cord to work with as you go along. So of course I already have this pre-cut. What you're gonna do is go through this bottom circle on your center, and you're going to make a 2-wrap knot. And so you're going to take this, the longer end in this case, and you're going to wrap it around twice, and then you're going to take that same end that you were just wrapping around, you're going to pull it through the bottom, which, I mean, in this case it'll look like this. So you have your metal down here, you're pulling the cord through those 2 loops going away from the metal, and then you're just going to tighten it down. So once that is tight, you're going to put on one of your Our Father beads, and I would recommend that you choose a bead that has a nice small hole. And the reason for that, I mean, obviously you want your cord to fit through it, but you want to pick a nice small hole because your knot at the end, you don't want to have to make a super huge knot. And so if you have a nice small hole, your knot doesn't have to be as big. Okay, so you put your bead through with your nice small hole, but not so small that it's frustrating to get your cord through it. You're going to make two loops again and put the end through and tighten it down to have just another 2-wrap knot, and tighten that down. And again, you want it so the knot will be big enough that it won't have any danger of going through that hole and losing your bead. And we'll worry about cutting that later. But then we're gonna start on the crown section. So we're gonna do the same thing. So we'll take our longer cord, or in this case a foot-long cord, and we're gonna do the exact same thing we just did. So we'll make a 2-wrap knot right here, and put that end through and tighten it down. Okay, so tighten down, and then you're ready for your beads. So you'll string 4 Hail Marys for each section of your little crown. So the first, oops, okay, let me try that again. The first section in your little crown is the crown of excellence. Then the second one is the crown of power, and the third is the crown of goodness, focusing on Mary's excellence, power, and goodness when you pray these Hail Marys. I need to re-nail polish this end. But that's okay because I'm just going to then switch over to one that I have further along, because I don't really need to show you how to string beads on here. So so this one I've already strung the beads on. So it's 4 Hail Marys and Our Father, 4 Hail Marys, another Our Father, and your third Our Father, of course, is already on your end. So so then you have that done. So you'll go ahead and you'll put your, oops, there we go. You put your end through your second, well, your other side of your centerpiece, and then this knot is kind of tricky to tie, but you're going to do the same thing. So you're making 2 loops, and then you're pulling the end through the 2 loops that you made and tightening it down. And you don't want this to be super loose here, of course, because you don't want a whole lot of excess space. It's fine for your beads to move around a bit, but of course you don't want it to be like a huge area. Which, let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's nice and tight. So then all I have to do at this point is cut off my excess cord, and then I'm going to use some of the nail polish just to seal these ends so they're less likely to come apart. So they will hopefully stay nice and secure. So I'll just chop all these and seal them down. And I would be nice and generous with the nail polish on this to make sure it can seal nicely. And again, you can just use glue for this. It doesn't have to be, if you don't happen to have nail polish on hand, you can just use glue, and that works just fine. So you just put that on all of your knots, and so then you have your lovely little crown of Mary all ready to pray. And I did another, if you saw my other one, where I did a book product placement thing before. These are just books that I find good and worth recommending. So it's not like anyone asked me to do this or anything. This one is one that I'm currently praying through, and it was such a blessing to come across this one and used book sale. So this is Praying with Mary by Janice T. Connell, and it's a collection of prayers. And this book is really such a blessing. I, of course, like I said, I'm praying through it now, so I have not gone through the entire book yet. Like I said, it's a collection of prayers, but it's been such a blessing to me, and so I just wanted to also throw that in there as a recommendation. So with that, God bless you, and happy little crown making.